and welcome to DFS Coach Talk, the Sunday edition. I am Deb Lutz, also known as D-Lux, and I am here today to bring you this two-game slate for the NBA, and we've got one game in the second round, and we've got game 7 in the first round, and it is going to be an exciting day. I am coming off a little bit of a buzzkill last night where my Phoenix Suns got totally destroyed by Denver. And Monty Williams needs to make some changes big time because that is not a cool way to go. It's looking like I've got a little bit of camera issue here. So we're going to just, let's see. I'm going to first see if I can try and reset that. If not, looks like we're going without visual today, which is okay because it's a Sunday morning and I, don't want to scare anyone too early this morning. Anyway, let's see. If this works here. Doesn't look like it's going to, so I don't want to delay things anymore. As long as you guys can hear me, give me like the thumbs up that you actually can hear me, and we'll go without visual. So, all right, 2 games. How's everyone feeling on this Sunday? Man, let's see, we got a great group going in the chat. So lots of people probably trying to get a little bit of an edge on what's going to happen in today's games. I'm happy to be providing that to you. Starting off with Stacks, man, even on a Sunday, Stacks shows up like an hour and a half ahead of time. So Stacks, either you've got a time zone issue, or you just like being early to the party all the time, which I appreciate. We appreciate you. So thanks for joining. Nathan Beauty is joining us today. What's up? How's it going? Great to have you in here on Sunday. I do see that, more folks are able to come in on a Sunday. First of all, you got no football, no work. I hope it's no work for everybody. I hope no one has any work today. Hopefully it's as beautiful by you guys. I know you can't see now because you don't have any visual, but it is really, really nice out here today. Not a cloud in the sky. So I hope it's nice for you are as well. I've got absolute power. Absolutely, man. Time to collect this booty and this loot. Let's do it. Rodney Pollard's joining us. Hey, what's up? And our fearless Doug L, MLB lineup generator. How's it going, Doug? And Randall is not your pick. That's good, dude. He is out, right? So he is not the pick today. That is for sure. But we're going to talk about who may be the pick. And we got Wolf Warner in, not to be confused with Warner Wolf. Gosh, one of my favorite sportscasters. Good morning. Damo, I don't think we've met before, Damo. Hello to you. How's it going? Grimes is going to mess up New York players' upside. Maybe not. I don't know. I think, first game back, he's not going to get a ton of minutes. And he's just, he's not a usage guy. So you're still going to get, the usage from folks. It'll be interesting to see who they start, though. If they're going to start with Josh Hart and move Barrett to the 4, or are they going to come in with someone like an Obi Toppin? Or are they going to go totally small and play it quickly to start? Miami's not that big either. So it'll be really interesting to see. And we should get that information in the next few minutes, maybe before the podcast ends. But I'll run through some scenarios with you, and we'll see what works out. So awesome. Well, let's see. Grimes do it grimy. Nice. Nathan, who would be your captain? Heat versus Knicks with Randall out. I'll tell you who my captain. Well, I have not looked at the lineup construction on single games, but I'll give you a couple of ideas as we go through this first game. So why don't we get to it? All right, let's go to the videotape, says Wolf Warner. All right, 1 p.m. Eastern, it is Miami at the New York Knickerbockers. Over under is a not so healthy 208.5, and these teams, when they get together, they do keep the score low. Something to keep in mind for stacking today. The New York Knicks are favored by 3.5. pretty much their home spread. This is going to be an interesting matchup. You've got Hero out. He's going to be out for the rest of the year for Miami. And on the Knicks, you've got Julius Randle sitting. So Randle, as we know, was completely mostly ineffective for the last series with Cleveland. It didn't matter. I mean, New York just crushed them. So I don't even think it's going to matter that much today against Miami. And it's going to be a good, tight, defensive-minded game. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, with Randle out, what's interesting is it's not necessarily the usual suspects who you think would benefit. So it's not Toppin, it's not a Hartenstein. Who actually benefits when Randle is out is, believe it or not, well, the more obvious ones are Brunson and Barrett, right? So anytime you go through from the three bigs to the two bigs, your usage on those two bigs is going to go up. And both Barrett and Brunson do benefit from it. But interestingly, it's Quickly. So Quickly, his usage goes up, his points per minute go up, and his number of minutes goes up. So I am all over Quickly today, who is super cheap, and I'm super happy to be playing him. So, for your question, Nathan, about who would be up top, I think Quickly would be a super sweet player to put up top because of his pricing versus somebody like a Brunson or a Barrett, and certainly versus a Butler. All right, so I like Quickly. We've established that. I do also like Barrett and Brunson, and I'm going to be playing a smattering them depending on how much money I've got and what site it's on, because on DK, both of those guys are pretty low. I might be playing both of them actually. I will take a look at Toppin, although, mid fours, he's, unless he gets 30 plus minutes, and he hasn't been with Randle out. So again, they spread that around. So that's something to keep an eye on. He's not the highest point per minute guy. And so again, it depends. If they start him, I might reconsider. But for right now, I'm going with Quickly over Toppin, and their pricing is not too dissimilar. Okay. So, and Toppin's going to be the obvious high-owned one also. So on the other side of things, who do I like? Not a ton that I like on Miami. Honestly, you have one really expensive guy and then a lot of mid-range guys who sometimes they hit it and sometimes they don't, and not a lot of rhyme or reason for when they do. It's not consistent at all. Some days it's Max Strus, other days it's Caleb Martin, sometimes it's Gabe Vincent. What we do know is, Lowry is not able to get the minutes that he's been getting, so he's going to be more of a, second stringer, maybe getting, somewhere between 18 and 25 minutes a game. So that limits his upside. Might be an interesting play for a GPP though. He certainly is the veteran, of the group, and so coming off the bench with fresher legs might spark him a little bit. So he's someone to think about. But GPP only. Adebayo, I think he's dinged up. I mean, he played okay in the first round, but he seemed to just disappear at times. And as we know, Jimmy Butler was taking over. He faces tough defense in Mitch Robinson, and I don't see him necessarily having his best games. I want to wait and see, how healthy is he, and can he get me a 40-plus game. So I'm holding off on Bam. Really, the only guy that I'm consistently looking at on Miami is Butler, because he's Butler, and we know he's going to show up big. Now, will he show up big, his biggest in this first game? Maybe he wants to make a statement with the first game, but he's also not going to be playing the crazy minutes in the first game. So, I think he's solid for cash games, but he is, I think he's the most expensive guy on the slate, actually, which is interesting, given that you do have, Steph Curry there over on the other side, or in the other game. Treading a little lightly on this game, given the fact that it's full 20 points lower than the next game. But I like some of the some of the guys over on New York, and then probably just sticking with Butler. I'm really not going to mess around with some of these mid-priced guys on Miami, because we have the other game with a lot of mid-priced guys, and I think there's just going to be more minutes and more scoring to go around. All right. So with that, we'll talk about this second game, unless there's any comments in the chat. Where King of Vibes has joined us. Thank you, King of all trades, I should say. King of Vibes. I like that. King of all vibes. All right, so we are on to this Golden State Sacramento game, and you've got a 230 spread. So yeah, 21.5 points higher for this over/under. The spread is 1 with Sacramento favored. Now they are at home, so that actually means that they're not favored. That Golden State technically on even turf would be favored, but this is going to be a super tight, super exciting game. I hope. I mean, it would be a shame if I don't see Sacramento blowing out Golden State, but it would be a shame if Golden State came and blew things out. I do like I do like Sacramento's chances here, the way they're playing. I really do. So what have we got? With that, I'm going to be leaning towards some of the Sacramento guys a little bit, and I'll start with that. I do like Fox. I mean, he's shown to be super solid. We know Golden State is not a great defensive team in the backcourt, and I think that continues. I think Fox has their number, and he's playing well. He's extremely confident, and he's got some room to run. So I like him a lot in this game. I like him for cash games. And then how can you not go with Malik Monk? I mean, very streaky guy. So could he fall out of it today? Absolutely. But they have a lot of confidence in him. His confidence is running high, and he's playing. He might be sixth man off the bench, but he's getting the second most minutes on the team, and so he's playing like a starter. So think of him that way when you look at his pricing today. Another guy to think about, although be careful with what he did last game, is Trey Lyles. Not Trey Lyles. It's Lyles. What's Lyles' first name? I'll tell you, he played great. It is Trey Lyles. Okay, he played great. And the question is, if Sabonis stays out of foul trouble, does he actually get the minutes that he needs to hit? But he has 3,700 on DK, so certainly a fill-in option, because he is going to get those minutes off the bench. For GPP games, I'll tell you, I like Sabonis. I mean, he's been pretty dreadful the entire series, and I think he needs to show up today for them to win. I think he can. I think he's, I don't think Looney's such a great defender, but I think they sort of have his number. But he needs to bear down and make it happen. He's a star on this team, so I would be interested in Sabonis in GPPs. Same thing with Herter. I saw him heating up a little bit in this game and the last game. And so, again, if he's a streaky player, if he gets that streak going, he could be hitting. And it looked like Sacramento was trying to say, hey, shoot the ball to both he and Keegan Murray. So I think one of those guys is going to have a big day today. The guy I would stay away from is Harrison Barnes. He only played 17 minutes the last game. Just seems to be a step slow, has not really been contributing. So he's definitely someone that I would not wouldn't necessarily focus on in this game. And then on Golden State, this is must win for them as well. I think Steph Curry's doing a lot of talking to himself. I mean, could he have a classic 8 threes Steph Curry game? He absolutely could. But I think Sacramento's ready for it. So I'm not actually going to be playing Steph Curry. I'm going to be saving my money there. And, if I am opting for a higher price guy, it is going to be Jimmy Butler or possibly DeAndre Fox, but not Curry for me, as he's been playing solidly, but nothing spectacular. And I just don't see that necessarily changing. I mean, when he's on the court, it's a huge differential with Golden State plus minus. And he will, he certainly will play more minutes in this game, but, I don't know if it's kind of age catching up with him. But he has been, a little bit quiet, I would say, not necessarily on the scoring side of things, but just contributing overall. And I think part of it is, they've been playing a little bit more of a, kind of an offense where they're not really passing the ball around a lot. They are, taking one-off shots, and I think that's definitely hurt them. So it'll be interesting to see. Do I expect him to score 30? I expect him to score 30 points, but do I expect him to get over 50 fantasy points? My money is more on Jimmy Butler getting over 50 than Curry. But that being said, he is Steph Curry. So, who else do I like over on Golden State, or what do I think is going to happen? I mean, I think Rudy's going to continue to get big minutes and play well. He did not have as good of a game in the last game, but also don't forget Sabonis was out for a good portion of the game with foul trouble, and they like matching up Looney with Sabonis, so they took Looney out for some of that. So I think Looney continues to play well. I think Sabonis is not a great defender, so he's certainly somebody to eye. I think Wiggins is good from a cash perspective. Clay Murray's really been the guy carrying the load, and he has been kind of hot this year in these playoffs. So I think he's another guy, and his pricing is really attractive at $7K and under. So he's another guy that I'm eyeing. I don't like Poole at all. I'm not sure what's going on with him. He just hasn't been in the flow. I'm not sure if he's a little bit injured, but I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go with him. And Draymond, I like. Draymond's great for a GPP, right? Because he can stick you with 30 fantasy points or even 20 fantasy points, but he can also get you a 50. So I like Draymond. Draymond, Lowry, and Sabonis are three big ones for me in GPP. So, okay. So I think, where are we at? I think that's it. We've got Nathan Feudy trying to figure out who's going to be captain for his single games, Quickly or Brunson. I go Quickly. Absolutely include Brunson in that lineup, but I go Quickly on the top, and then Monk or Fox. I have to see the way the rest of the lineup looks. Tough to say. I would, Fox is definitely, your high-priced guy. Certainly, I think in a cash game, probably Fox on top versus Monk. But I'd have to see how the rest of that lineup shakes out. So, all right. So, hey, that's it. Nice and quick with just the two games. Give me enough time to finish getting the lineup set and be able to post for you guys in 10 minutes. And then enjoy the afternoon of watching some great basketball games. It should be a really good one. And thank you for joining. Really appreciate it on this Sunday morning. I hope you guys win some big money. And talk to you next time as we look to crush it in NBA DFS Coach Talk.